There's room for everything in pro wrestling.
Give me 2 hours on TBS with this crew, and we'll take Raw down.
When's the last time we were truly worked?
Like TLC, it's just overdone. And Hell in the Cell's going the way of that too.
It's whatever at this point. Goldberg's in the Hall of Fame. That made it irrelevant at that point.
So that's your soundbite right there, folks.
Well, rammer jammer and drop the hammer. Let's get ready to rumble here on the Bammer Slammer. If you're watching us for the very first time, thank you so much. We appreciate you watching us here on twitch.tv/SmackDraw. Announce yourself in the chat so we can give you a shout out. We got a few people already coming in. Kyle, our fearless leader, is here. Cole 2K is here. Good to see you guys. Anybody else that's here, announce yourself. We'll give you a chance to shout you out. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SmackDraw Podcast, we thank you so much for that. Leave us a like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell so that every time we post a new video, you'll get notified immediately. We appreciate all of that. If you're listening to us on a podcast right now, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a 5-star rating. We got Jimmy Korderas on the show tonight. That's worth 6 stars, but all we can do is 5. So we ask you to please do that. We appreciate it, and thank you for all your support. First of all, let me introduce this awesome panel to you as we get ready to do our preview for the Royal Rumble. Over here to my right, she is a co-host of the Queens of the Ring podcast, where they discuss pro wrestling, hot topics, and whatever else they deem worthy for the Queens discussion. She's Bray Wyatt's biggest fan, a proud supporter of the Bullet Club for life, and just like Patsy Cline, she's crazy. This is Crazy Nikki. Nikki, welcome back, my queen.
Hi. It's Royal Rumble week.
It is. That's why I have a queen on.
Exactly. But it's the craziest week other than WrestleMania week, in my opinion.
100%.
100%.
Now,
it's madness.
Has the Rumble replaced Survivor Series as your favorite pay-per-view?
No.
Not quite yet?
No.
Okay.
WrestleMania will always be up there, but seeing the Royal Rumble live was just, it kind of soured it for me because it's a long haul. It's a long haul.
Yeah.
It's a long show.
I understand completely. I understand. Right below Crazy Nikki, he's 1/3 of the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast, where you can hear pro wrestling analysis, hot takes, breaking news, recaps, and more. He's an actor. He's a screenwriter. He's a cinematographer, a self-proclaimed genetic genius, which he proved by winning the 2021 Wheel of Wrestling Trivia Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Trivia Titan himself, TC Fontaine. TC, good evening, sir.
How's it going, Dave? Glad to be back. This is my favorite pay-per-view. It's my favorite or premium live event, as it's called now. This is my absolute favorite one, so I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm excited to have you back as well. How did you celebrate winning the Wheel of Wrestling Trivia Championship last year?
I'm still celebrating. I mock my partner on the weekly basis when we record because we set a bet. And he has to adhere to that bet every time we record. And I throw it in his face any chance I get.
Absolutely. Yes, you rightly
Shout out to
should.
Reed.
Shout out to Reed. Great guy. He came in
third.
He came in third.
Very
Yeah, you won't let us forget. That's right. He came in third on that championship.
I came in first, by the way.
Oh, really? You won? Is that how it happened? Okay. 100%. All right, guys. And finally, directly below me, he's a legend in the pro wrestling business with over 22 years as a referee with the WWE, where you've seen him work some of the biggest matches of all time. He's also a published author of his book, The 3 Count, My Life in the Stripes as a WWE Referee. You can get it anywhere you find books. You can hear him daily on Twitter with his Reffin' Rants, which are must-watch every morning. He's a wealth of knowledge, a member of the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and my personal professional wrestling GOAT of refs. This is referee Jimmy Korderas. Jimmy, good evening, sir, and welcome back to the Bammer Slammer.
Well, thank you, Bama Dave. I appreciate you having me back. And man, how do I follow up that intro? I feel like I got a lot to live up to now. But it's cool being here again. I always love the Royal Rumble. As someone who was there for the very first one that was televised way back when in 1988. surprising that I actually remember this. All those ref bumps over the years. Sometimes I forget things.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. Especially when you take a kick from The Undertaker at WrestleMania 24, you might forget a couple of things after that.
That I will do every WrestleMania. It's Taker and it's Mania right here.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Well, Jimmy, real quick, I told these guys before we get into the preview for the Royal Rumble this coming Saturday that we would just give everybody a chance to overview it and talk about it. So I'm going to start with you. Going back, the Royal Rumble was created in 1988. Is that right?
Well, that's when the first one took place. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Tommy Dreamer who brought it to my attention that there was kind of like, I don't want to say a trial Royal Rumble done in St. Louis prior to that, but it was a different kind of, they wanted to do a battle royal, but they wanted to do it differently.
Right.
Where, again, you start with 2 guys and every 2 minutes or so, someone else enters the fray. So they had kind of like a trial run in St. Louis.
Okay.
And they said, yes, we can do this. And bam, ended up here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. You have to pronounce it that way. Anytime you're in Canada, just like Brett was from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Every time you mention a town in Canada, you have to announce the province and the country as well.
Wow. Looking over here in the chat real quick, Squared Circle, EJ's here. He said, the legend referee Jimmy Korderas is in the house. I love his referee segment. There you go. Absolutely. And he said, I remember that. It was on the USA Network, and he watched it as a kid. So he remembers it. Wow, awesome! And so that
he wouldn't remember me because I had hair back then, or as the Edster used to call it, the old frullet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was part froey in the front, but it was anyways.
I never said. So that would make this, is this the 25th anniversary, and it's back in St. Louis?
Wow. Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, give us a little backstory. Were you anywhere near when the plans for this were being made, when Pat Patterson came up with it? Is there any backstory you can tell us on how the Royal Rumble came to be?
I wish I had a story. All I know is what we showed up. They said, we're going to do this Royal Rumble. We tried it in St. Louis. Here's what's going, everybody got into the room like prior to, and they just went over it quickly. And, I believe I was with Joey. I think Joey was doing it with my, back in the man. And I just remember thinking, how are we going to pass times to the guys in the ring, and kind of, give everybody the Iggy, so to speak, while we're outside. But, they managed, we managed to, kind of get them the little bit hand signals, trying to get their attention and trying to stay off camera at the same time,
100%.
But other than that, it was fun. It was absolutely a lot of fun because it was new. It was different.
Was there any heat amongst the wrestlers as to it's the first one who should win it or how they should win it?
No, I did not that I was aware of. Anyways, I think they wanted a babyface to go over, and I think everybody understood at the time. Hacksaw was a huge babyface. One of the biggest babyfaces they had, other than of course Hulk. But
right.
So what other babyface can we get over? I think everybody was happy putting Hacksaw over.
Let's say TC, Nikki, do either of you have a question for the legendary Jimmy Korderas?
If you want to go first, Nikki, if you don't mind.
No, you can go.
Okay. I have one for me, one for my co-host as well. My question, probably the most infamous Royal Rumble moment, Mr. McMahon tearing both his quads.
Yeah.
I just need to hear a story from anybody.
I thought that was a work.
Stories about it.
I thought it was a work. I thought it was a work.
No.
Like what was it? What was the mood like after this happened or when this happens? Like, what is everybody thinking? Like, oh, like.
Are you talking about the torn quads, or do you want me to tell really quickly what led to it? Anyways,
both.
What led to it? Like the whole thing.
Okay. So basically, the finish was laid out. The last 2 guys in the ring were going to be John Cena and Dave Bautista. And there were 2 Raw referees out there and 2 SmackDown referees. And at the time, the brands had been separated. We were split. And Dave was supposed to go over. Dave was the Raw guy. John Cena was the SmackDown guy. So as they did their spot going over the top rope, I was off to the side. I wasn't on the side where they had landed. So I didn't see the actual landing. And the finish was Dave was supposed to go over. But as people noticed, if they tried to, 100 times, they wouldn't be able to get it as almost perfect.
No.
They landed simultaneously.
No, perfect
It was
sync.
incredible. So Jack Doan, who is one of the Raw refs, automatically went over and raised Dave's hand. And we hesitated. Charles and I were the SmackDown refs, and we didn't. And then all of a sudden we hear in our earpiece, one of the SmackDown refs go over and raise John Cena's hand. So I went, oh. So I ran over and raised John's hand. So we started doing the argument. No, he won. No, he won. And as we're looking, they're playing the replay on the big Tron. And we're looking at it. We're going, oh, that's why. So now that's when we clue in, because
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now we're like, okay. And while this is going on and we're doing the little back and forth, no, John won, no, Dave won, no, John won, no, Dave won. They're talking to the other refs saying, go find the respective general managers. Eric Bischoff was Raw and Teddy was SmackDown GM, Teddy Long. So this is going on, and Gerald Briscoe screaming, hey, guys, find them, get them out here, and we're doing our little thing out there. And next thing you know, here comes Mr. McMahon, steaming. Now, here's where I noticed that something was up, because there's a difference between Mr. McMahon, the character, coming out and doing his walk, right? This was VKM hot.
Oh, no.
And you can see it. There was steam coming. You know what I mean? So as he comes down, he's storming like down to the ring, and he dives under the bottom rope. And as he goes to stand up, he stumbles backwards, lands on his butt. He's leaning and he's sitting up against the ropes. And we all looked at each other and went, oh. And he said, come here. And we're going to come over. And, so he talked us through it. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to restart the match, have them two go for it, kind of like overtime.
Right.
And then kind of go where Dave ends up winning the match. Now, we didn't know at the time that he had torn both quads. We just knew that something was wrong because he wasn't standing up.
Wow.
The thing is, though, when he rolled out of the ring, everybody trying to help him. Vince, Mr. McMahon, can we help you back? Nobody, leave me alone. Leave me alone. He managed to get himself to the back without any help. With two torn quads.
Unbelievable.
He just refused to, and you can see him, holding the barricade, walking, but my goodness. And then when we got to the back, of course,
right.
I kind of, it was now I'm Switzerland. I'm going to a neutral zone and I'm staying away from everybody. And we found out later, of course, that allegedly Teddy and Eric had left the building early to avoid the traffic or the mad rush afterwards, because they were, in their minds, they were done for the night.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to throw them under the bus, but allegedly that's what had happened. They had left, which caused Mr. McMahon to get even hotter. That's why he came out in full steam mode.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
my
crazy.
gosh.
Wow.
But the most amazing thing was that he ended up getting to the back by himself without any help. I can't believe it. If anybody could, Mr. McMahon could.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Say, TC, you had another question?
Yeah, one more question from my co-host, Mr. Wreak Havoc. Can you give your best Undertaker story?
Best Undertaker story. Wow. Oh, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's got to be WrestleMania 24. And, it's customary, both Edge and Undertaker, I was honored that they requested me to referee that match. And that was added pressure to me. I said, oh boy, I can't screw this up now. You know what I mean? But as we were, everybody knows, we were talking about it the day before. They were going over the match and with the agent and Edge and Taker and myself. And they said, well, we want to bump you, but we want to bump you where we take you out of the match completely. Are you okay with that? And I said, are you kidding me? Of course I'm okay with that. So Taker looks at me and goes, are you okay with taking a big boot? I said, are you kidding me? Big boot me all day long, every day and twice on Sunday. I don't care. Yeah, of course. And she said, okay, cool. And then after the match, it's customary. You go in and you shake hands and you thank everybody for the match and stuff like that. And I went, and you know what? I got emotional. I got very emotional and, thanked him so much. And, with him and Edge and tears in my eyes and, big hugs and stuff like that. But that was the most memorable moment that I had with the dead man.
Was that your first main event at Mania?
Yeah.
Nice.
Incredible. To this day, I think one of the most underrated matches at WrestleMania. People don't talk about it, but if you really sit down and watch it, it's probably two of the best performances either Edge or Taker ever gave. It was incredible.
Great storytelling. I mean, people,
100%. Nikki, did you happen to have a question?
Yes, I have one question. Out of all of the Royal Rumbles you've been a part of, what has been your favorite?
Oh my goodness, if I could remember them all. You know what?
Just 25, Jimmy. Just 25.
Yeah. But for me, believe it or not, involving a fellow Canadian who wasn't happy with me after the match, the Bret Hart, Steve Austin in the at the Dome. When we were breaking up a fight, myself and Mike Chioda were breaking up a fight on the outside. I want to see who is it. Oh my goodness, it was just played. Anyways, we were breaking up a fight on the other side. Behind our backs, Bret had eliminated Stone Cold. We didn't see it.
Right.
But then Steve comes back in, eliminates Bret, wins the Rumble, and then Bret gets all hot afterwards. That's got to be one of my favorite ones because, a heel won in actual heel fashion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And it kicked off a heck of a story between him and Bret, which created the Stone Cold Steve Austin that we ended up, loving at WrestleMania 13.
Fun fact, I'm actually rewatching the Attitude Era right now because I didn't grow up watching it, so I'm actually living it. I know a lot of it because of flashbacks and stuff, but I actually just watched that Rumble and that build to WrestleMania 13. And so when that happened, I'm like, how did he get back in without them seeing? And then when you said the fight on the other side, I'm like, this is so perfect coincidence for storytelling that you couldn't have written it better. So I'm just glad Stone Cold had the wherewithal to get back in the ring and make it happen, because then otherwise that whole 3-4 month build to one of the greatest matches of all time with him and Bret would have never happened. So that's that's incredible. That's incredible. Jimmy, my last question for you is, when it comes to the Royal Rumble, what are some things that a fan like us would love to hear that are the biggest challenges of working a match like this?
The hardest thing is there's, obviously it's at the beginning, you have two people starting off the match, in the women's match and the men's match, it'll be two wrestlers starting off the match. It's easy to get people's attention that way and have them focus on you because you're working with each other. Once the ring starts filling up with people, now it's hard to kind of pay attention to everything that's going on.
Right.
And the challenge is to kind of have those ebbs and flows where, okay, we're going to have this big moment happen. Everybody else has to kind of, let's pair off and move off to the side and let these guys do what they're supposed to do here and stuff like that. The challenge is not being a distraction when the big moments happen. So you got to kind of know what others are doing as well.
Right. 100%. Nikki, TC, any last minute questions that just came to your mind?
I'm good.
Okay, and hey, everybody in the chat, we will be taking questions from you as we get into the matches now. So if you have a question for Jimmy Korderas, drop it over here in the chat. I'm looking over here at the room right now, and if you give us a question, I'll throw it over to Jimmy, and he can answer them as we go through the pay-per-view. But guys, before we get into the pay-per-view, I just want to put this out real quick. If you love content like this, and if you love listening to content like this, then please consider helping us out financially so we can keep doing it. Two ways you can do that. You can go to our PayPal, which is paypal.me/SmackDrawPod, and give a one-time donation, or head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. Depending on what subscription tier you do, determines how much we'll give back to you. We have a lot of stuff, and the more you give, the more we will, the more things you unlock that we will give to you, such as shout-outs every episode, sticker packs, a SmackDraw t-shirt, and if you go all the way up to the Elite tier, which is $25 per month, we'll even advertise for your brand. So we'll put your logo on our stuff. We'll shout you out every single episode. We'll tell the people all about you and what you stand for. So please just consider that. The better you take care of us, the better we get to take care of you by putting out great content for the eyes and for the ears. Come on, guys. We got referee Jimmy Korderas on the show today. That alone is worth becoming an Elite tier member just to listen to this episode. But guess what? You can do it for $1. You can do it for free. But we encourage you to help support us financially. The more you take care of us, like I said, the better we do taking care of you. Now, guys, let's jump into arguably one of the most anticipated premier premier live events in recent memory. I'm going to be flat out honest and say this is such an unpredictable pay-per-view, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. So what we're going to do is every time we do a premier live event we do something on this program called Check Your Temperature. And actually, I have a co-creator on here with me. Me and Nikki created this together. And what we do is we throw a match on the table, and then we go around the horn like on ESPN, and we go, are you hot, cold, or lukewarm or warm for that match? And then you just take a minute and say why you are, and then at the end of talking about it, you tell your prediction on who you think is going to win that match and why. And so we're going to kick it off and get started here, and we're going to start with a match that I honestly never thought we would ever see, but I'm so excited we're going to see it, and that is the It Couple versus the Grit Couple. We have Miz and Maryse reuniting on TV. If you haven't seen Miz and Mrs., why haven't you? It's hilarious. So one of the best shows that these guys have done. Miz and Maryse are hilarious, but they are reunited on TV, and they have issued a challenge, and they are facing Edge, the rated R superstar, and his beautiful, dominant, powerful wife, the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. They have reunited back together on TV as well. The It Couple versus the Grit Couple. Miss Nikki, let's kick it off and show everybody how it's done. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I am warm for this match.
Okay.
I love Edge and Beth and the Miz. I love everybody involved. My thing is, Maryse has been out having a family and starting her own businesses and being a boss. We haven't seen what Maryse can do for a while. So there's a part of me that's, you have three very, very excellent talent and Maryse. So, and obviously I have full faith in Edge and the Miz and Beth to help her along, make sure she doesn't make a complete and total idiot out of herself out there. But I think it's pretty obvious that Edge and Beth have the advantage going into this, for sure. And that is who I have chosen to win this match.
Okay, TC, hot, cold, or warm, and who's going to win?
I'm a little warm. Even though I love Miz, I love Edge. I'm kind of warm on their feud. Like, I'm not too hot on it. But this match, I think is cool. We finally get to see Edge and Beth team up. But Miz and Maryse, they beat Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
They did.
They fought John Cena and Nikki Bella at WrestleMania.
They did.
They would have won that one too. But we're not going to get into that. I can't go against the more experienced team. I just can't.
So you're picking the It Couple to pull this one out?
Yeah, somehow, some way, they will do it.
Okay. Jimmy, I'm going to save you for last. I'm going to say that I am also warm for this match. I can't add too much more. The thought of Edge and Beth finally teaming together was not even a possibility to me because, I mean, for how many years we didn't know Edge could ever even wrestle again. And then he finally showed up, 2 years ago and blew our minds and has done consistently amazing matches. He hasn't had a bad one since. Even when he hurt his tricep in that greatest match ever with Randy Orton, they still put off a clinic. It was an amazing match. So I'm just excited, to be able to see him back. And then team with his wife, who is arguably one of the greatest, powerful female wrestlers of all time. And to get to see them work together is incredible. TC has a very, very valid point. Miz and Maryse, they just have experience there. They've trained together. They've worked together. They've been on big stages together. They know what to do. They probably will immediately reach in their bag of tricks and go, we know this works. We know this works. We know this works. And so, I'm not doubting at all they're going to be able to pull it off. However, you don't make a Glamazon angry. And as much as I love Miz and I love Maryse, Edge is not even needed. Beth could beat both of them by herself probably. And so I really think that at the end of the day, they got a little bit of payback on Monday, but they still haven't gotten their hands on the two of them. On Saturday night, they will, and I think it's going to be a very, very bad day for Miz and Maryse. I think Edge and Beth are going to pull it out, and they're going to get the 1, 2, 3 on this. Or I actually want to see Edge make the Miz tap. I'm sorry, I just do. I want to see him lock in that execution and make the Miz tap. I do. Jimmy Korderas, your turn. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
It's weird. I'm a little more than warm, but I'm not quite hot for this because, like you guys have said, I've been anticipating this tag team between Edge and Beth. You're looking forward to them finally getting to team together and watching Miz, who is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated performers out there, because people always automatically, associate him with, Tough Enough and all that kind of stuff, but they don't realize, and all the trouble he got into back in the day with, having to change in the closet, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that he learned how to get over as a heel.
Yes.
He learned how to be unliked, and that's hard to do nowadays, especially. And he's continuing to do that. And of course, Maryse, a little out of practice, but still, once you start getting into that rhythm again, it starts to hopefully come back to you. And when you've got people like Miz, Edge, and Beth in there with you, like was mentioned, they could guide you along. So this is going to be a very interesting match with some good storytellers. My pick for winner, though, I think somehow Miz and Maryse kind of sneak one out here in traditional heel fashion, which causes a rematch at WrestleMania with a nice proper build between Edge and Miz. I want to see those two have one heck of a match at WrestleMania with some kind of stipulation maybe added to it.
Okay, very interesting. I'm looking over here in the chat. Jimmy, we do have one question. Those of you in the chat, if you have a question for referee Jimmy Korderas, drop it in there. I'll make sure to ask it. Cole2K asked Jimmy, when it comes to refereeing a Royal Rumble, how much are you aware beforehand who's coming out, what the order is, when they get eliminated, and eventually who's going to win? How much do you know?
We are pretty much kept to speed on stuff, and we need to know. And also, they're also talking to us in our head, our earpiece as well, giving us, okay, remember, give them the, buzz them about this or whatever the case may be. So we pretty much have a good idea, except, believe it or not, they tried to kayfabe us on the big Cena return at Madison Square Garden that year, because they brought him in. They told the guys, because he came out late, right? So they told everybody that
number
was going to
30
be left in. Yeah. So they told everybody who was going to be in the ring late that he was going to be there, but they kind of dismissed the room before they got to that part. But anyways.
Yeah, I hate to throw one more question, but Jimmy, what's the loudest pop you've ever heard at a Rumble? Was it Cena or Edge?
I think I wasn't there live for the Edge one, but it's got to be the Edge one, because when you talk about not anticipating that entry into the Rumble, and of course everybody was happy to see Cena at the Garden, but at the same time, Cena still had that, I don't know, the smart fans were kind of anti-Cena, but even they were happy to see him back.
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah. For the entrance at least anyways.
Yeah.
But that Edge pop was phenomenal.
Yeah. Every time even like a 10-second clip of the Edge pop out on Twitter scrolls by, I still get chills every time. Every time. It's just such a powerful moment. All right. Awesome, guys. Keep the questions coming. Next match. This is another match that I'm intrigued by, but more so ever, I'm just kind of just anticipating watching what the match is going to look like, and that is the Raw Women's Champion, Big Time Bex. I still call her the man, even though we're not supposed to, but she's always going to be the man, Becky Lynch, to me, and she's facing fellow Celt from Scotland, Miss Piper Niven. No, I'm not calling her the other word because that's not her name. Piper Niven facing Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble. This time, TC, we're going to start with you. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
A little lukewarm. I just think the build just hasn't really been there, and they kind of been forcing it the last few weeks. Like I don't really believe that it's really that much heat between these two. So it's kind of keeping me from getting invested. which I think is kind of shameful because I think this is like the first ever title match between two British women, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think that could be a little bit, more anticipated, but the match should still be good. But I think Becky's gonna squeak it out in the end. Like, it's not Doudrop's time just yet.
Okay. Mr. Jimmy Korderas, are you hot, cold, or warm for this match, and who do you predict to win?
I'm with TC on this one. I'm a little lukewarm. I'm curious to see what happens in this match. But again, and I don't want to sound like the old school traditionalist guy, but who's the heel and who's the babyface in this one? You know what I mean? I get it. Things are supposedly evolving and changing, but at the same time, I want someone that I can get behind. If I'm suspending disbelief, right? I'm watching as a fan.
Right.
I want someone that I could cheer and someone that I could boo, and I want to be able to cheer for the baby. And yes, while I understand that people do want to see Becky as a babyface and desperately want to cheer her, she is not acting like one right now.
Right.
So that is, for me, hurting the build for this match. Like you were saying, TC, the build has been kind of That being said, I'm confident they're going to have a good match. It's just, from a psychology standpoint, are they going to both work like heels?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about. And I agree. I think Becky comes out of this retaining her title.
Yeah. I'm in the exact same boat. As much, Becky, I love you. She's my girl, and I've loved Becky for so many years. I love her with so much passion. I get made fun of for it because Becky Lynch has always been my favorite of all time in terms of women's wrestling. But I'm warm for this match. For everything Jimmy said, I could not have put it better. I get they needed her to be a heel because Sasha was questionable at the time and Bayley was hurt. I get it. I know that's why they needed you to be a heel. But the moment Sasha came back and the moment Charlotte was back in the picture and all this stuff started happening, why couldn't she immediately have gone, okay, I had a bad day. I didn't think y'all really missed me, but hey, the man's back. Let's have some fun. They kept driving it and going with it and give all props to her. I didn't think I could ever not like Becky. Now I don't like her. She's actually done a good job of being this heel and making me want to see somebody else beat her. I don't want to see Doudrop beat her. I don't want to see Piper be the one that beats her and takes the Raw Women's Championship from her because, again, Piper's not a babyface either, and she doesn't deserve to win. She's had so many underhanded tactics. Okay, granted, she had a good, lucky win over Liv and Bianca in that triple threat because Becky hit Bianca out of the ring, and that's the only reason Piper's in this match. So that being said, I don't think Piper even deserves to be here. I don't think it's her time yet. So therefore, I want Becky to win this match, and I think she is going to win this match. Nikki, hot, cold, or warm?
I'm actually cold.
All right.
I'm cold on this. I've watched Piper for a long time before WWE, and the whole Doudrop experiment is just not
clicking.
working.
It's not clicking.
It's not. Nobody's calling her Doudrop. She needs to be Piper. And if we're going to go Piper as a heel, we need to go full on heel with Becky full on face.
Yep.
Because Becky's in that weird place where she comes out, the entrance happens, everybody cheers because it's Becky. And everybody wants to cheer Becky. And then she says something and then people boo Becky. And then she'll say something again and people cheer Becky again.
Right.
So it's... And nobody really wants to hate Becky because some of the stuff she has said is true and people know it's true. So it's the experiment on both of them is just not working. Mm-mm. And just like Bammer, I thought this was going to be very temporary with Bayley out, Sasha out, Charlotte, being out for a little bit and then coming back. I thought that was what that was going to be. And at this point, you have to do something to turn it around. But I do not think this is Piper's time. Mm-hmm. In maybe a year or two, maybe. Not right now. It's not her time, so Becky will win.
All right. Cool stuff. Let me go over here to the chat. Jimmy, we have a fellow Canadian who has a question for you. This is Spuddy from Canada. And he said, question for Jimmy. How did you enjoy After the Mat on the Score in Canada?
Oh, I loved it. it was the precipice to right after wrestling, and then Art and I continued it on and became Aftermath and that sort of thing. A post-game show is basically what it was. We were a post-game show. We ended up doing it on Sirius XM. I wish we were still doing it to this day, but with the situation, the way things are right now, hopefully we'll be back. You never know.
You never know. Doors open.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jimmy, just real quick, and I don't want to keep us here all night, but you just said something that I really feel like needs to be expounded on. Matter of fact, I might even make a clip out of it and put it out there. Talk about why you see such a problem with this mindset of let them cheer them if they want them, let them boo them if they want them, as long as they're reacting to our characters. What is the long-term problem with that in the wrestling business?
In my opinion, again, I compare this to like the invention of the wheel. If I could explain it this way best. When the wheel was first invented, it was stone. It was carved out of stone. And then over time, of course, it's very heavy being made of stone. Then over time, it was wood. They made wheels out of wood. And then instead of using solid wood, they used spokes and stuff like that. And then the invention of rubber, and then vulcanized rubber, and then rubber and flat tires. But at the end of the day, what is the shape of the tire?
Right.
It's a wheel.
It is round. And I think, wrestling is the same way. It evolves over time and in its presentation, but at the core of its being, it is good versus evil. And as fans, yes, the fan today is more educated and up to speed on the fact that it is, I know people are going to hate this word, sports entertainment, because I hate using the F word. It still should be presented as good versus, you want a good to triumph eventually over evil.
Right.
And when evil does defeat good, to do it in a dastardly fashion. And yes, I get it. We know that wrestling is what it is. It's not like MMA. It's not like boxing. But at the same time, money is made in stories that people can get invested behind the certain characters.
Thank you.
When you don't have clear baby faces and clear heels, who do you get invested behind? Oh, yeah, people will point to guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock being kind of acting heelish, but they were doing it in such an entertaining fashion, as opposed to being a total a-hole. I don't know what the what the language parameters are here.
You be comfortable and do whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Sir. No. I don't. I'm not the big throw F-bombs out there and stuff like that. But there's a difference between an edgy baby face and just being a total, like I said, a-hole, and people going, yeah, I like that a-hole.
Right. Right. Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think one of the only reasons why Stone Cold worked as the babyface acting the way he is because he was opposite someone 10 times more evil than he was. And so that's the only way it works is the juxtaposition. Right now, Becky did not change her character much, but then you put her in the ring with Charlotte, it's an easy cheer because Charlotte's the evil queen. So it's easy to cheer for Becky versus Charlotte, even if they're both heels. So yeah, I've never understood the heel sympathizing mentality. Number one, I'm a pastor, so I teach right and wrong. I teach morals. I teach ethics. And so I teach Jesus good, Satan bad. And so, 10 Commandments, all that stuff, read the book. Anyway, I teach all of that. So when someone comes out and says, he lied and cheated and steal, that's awesome. I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense to me. But then you have Eddie Guerrero who does it, and we cheer. So
sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
because, please. I loved Eddie. Eddie and I were like real tight, and I have to thank him too because he brought me out of my shell a lot because he would go over a match and talk about the lie, cheating, and steal, and then he'd look over at me and go, "What? You got that look on your face?" And I go, nothing. He goes, no, you tell me. So I'd throw an idea out to him and he goes, you know what? I like that. I'm going to do that. I said, are you kidding? So, you know what I mean? He was a guy who, anyway, but the thing about the lie, cheating, and steal, he did it in a fun, entertaining fashion. It wasn't dastardly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a difference in that.
Yeah, 100%.
To me, anyways.
No, I 100% see that. Chad, if you have any questions for Jimmy, hit us up, drop them in there, and we'll read them in between the matches. But let's move on to the next match, and that is match for the WWE Championship, the most anticipated match on this card. For 4.5, maybe even 5 years, we've been waiting for this match, but for almost 20 years, Bobby Lashley has been wanting this match. The almighty Bobby Lashley challenges Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, with Paul Heyman firmly behind him and MVP firmly behind Bobby Lashley. Referee Jimmy Korderas, you've worked with both these men. You've seen their careers parallel. You probably are anticipating this more than we are. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I am hot for this match because you can make an argument for it going either way. And going into this match, I know people are going to say, "Oh, I see so-and-so winning, or I see Bobby, or I see Brock." No, you don't. This match here probably has the biggest question mark on it. Who it goes, and you talk about my brain working overtime. I have a conspiracy theory in my head that I'm going to throw out there in a second. But this match, like you said, Bobby is fantastic, and I don't want to give it away and spoil it, but Bobby's such a good dude, and Brock, Brock is his own man,
right?
And yes, I get that Brock is technically the babyface in this one, but at the same time, he hasn't really changed much other than being more condescending to Bobby and kind of almost not taking him seriously. And Bobby looks like he's hot and he wants to win this match. Now, my theory trust me, these two are going to have a heck of a match, and they won't be afraid to lay it in. Let's put it that way.
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of meat, not a meat slapping in this one.
Here's what I see happening in this one. I see them having a hell of a match, very competitive. Both guys are going to get over in this match and show a lot. It's going to come down to, I think I'd love to see this. Anyways, let's put it this way. I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but I'd love to see this. Bobby gets the hurt lock. Is that what he calls it?
Yes, the hurt lock.
Nelson,
yes.
The hurt lock on Brock. Brock is fading. Now Brock is fighting back up, and Bobby's still got it locked on. Paul Heyman's on the outside freaking out. Paul takes out a towel and throws it in the ring.
Oh!
Referee sees the towel thrown in by his
advocate.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go. Brock didn't give up. He didn't get pinned. He didn't submit. But this is a way to get the title off him without hurting him, if that makes any sense.
Genius.
Paul laughs and runs. He's gone. And we find out later that he was in cahoots with Roman the entire time to
yes.
Put it to Lesnar, and Bobby is your new WWE champion.
So you're hoping that's the way it's going to play out, or you have a strong feeling that's the way it's going to play out?
No, I'm hoping it's one way, like I said, to get the title off of Brock without having to pin him,
right,
or make him submit or anything like that, or knock him out cold or whatever the case may be. And he's also we got a backstory to it, and it leads to a story that was started that looked like it was going in a different direction. Now it can, it'll play into a later match that we're going to talk about. But anyways,
absolutely, I am white hot on this. With the moment the 5-way match was announced and Brock was put in there, my eyes immediately said they're in the same match. They're in the same match. This is actually about to happen. And then when Bobby speared him through that barricade, I said, "Oh, this ain't over. They're actually going to let us see this." And then when they made it official, TC, I think you were in the group chat. We all went nuts. We said, "There's no way that this is actually happening. This is going to be so amazing to watch it." And then the thought crossed my mind: wait a second, Brock still has Roman. How the heck is this going to work? What is this even going to look like? And I'm agreeing with Jimmy. I'm just going to say, whatever I thought was in my head, I want it to happen his way. 100% I want it to happen his way. But I do fully believe Bobby is going to get that title off of Brock, because I think the money match at the end of the day and in the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, finally solidifying and cementing the end of this story. And so I think because of that, Bobby needs to get this win. And I do agree they need to get it to Bobby where Bobby comes out looking like he deserved it, like he earned it, but that Brock did not give it up or did not lose it on his own. Even if that means, Bobby wears him down and he fades and then Brock gets back out of it and then Paul walks away and Brock gets distracted and he locks it back on and fades. But in some way, shape, or form, they just need to prove you didn't beat me, but you deserve to have this belt. So that's what I hope. If they can tell that story, that's what we need to see happen. And I'm 100% agreeing that I think Bobby's going to get this title on Saturday. Nikki, hot, cold, or warm?
I am hot because I've wanted to see this match for a very long time. And Jimmy, I think you and I have a very similar thought process on this one because there's a conspiracy going on. But I think the Usos may have something to do with this match. I know. I would rather have a Jimmy's way. But the Usos love to stick their nose in everybody else's business. It's been known. It's been said. They're barred from ringside on the Roman match.
Right.
They're going to stick their nose in this match. And they're going to screw Brock. Which will lead to, obviously, Brock and Roman.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be as simple as, oh, they take him out and Bobby just pins him. I think Brock will get back up. But the Hurt Lock will be put on. And he fades. And he's done. So, yes, Bobby Lashley will win. And Brock will be upset with Heyman because he's like, why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you do anything? You didn't do anything. You didn't help me. And the seeds are being planted for Heyman to have to pick sides.
Yep.
And is he really on Brock's side? Or is he really on Roman's? Or does he just not care and he's just playing everybody against him?
He's just getting paid.
He's just getting paid. What if he's collecting a check on both of them?
Yep.
So Bobby Lashley will win, and I will be very happy about that.
TC, hot, cold, or warm, sir? I think I know your answer, but go ahead.
Listen, I don't even know what's hotter than hot. I'm boiling. I'm heated. I'm up there, man.
He's burning it down. He's burning it down.
This is gonna be my match of the night, I think. Because I've been like everybody else. We've been looking forward to this for years now. I think Jimmy and I might be on the same page with something he mentioned about. I feel like this is a part one of something that's going to be bigger down the line,
right?
On the same evening. But as far as who's going to win, I think I'm on the same page as everybody else. They got to get that belt back on Bobby Lashley, and then you can figure out what he's doing for WrestleMania. But right now, it's all about Brock and Roman. And I think I know how they're going to play into that, which that should be fun if they do go that route. But we'll talk about that momentarily.
Right. 100%. Yeah. I posted on Twitter, I think it was yesterday or the day before. It seemed like a throwaway segment at the time, but I could not shake it for some reason. I watched it again. That segment where Brock said, Roman, you know what they want, title versus title. Let's do this. And then Roman made a comment and Paul said, why are you talking to me that way? After all I did for you, blah, blah, blah. And Brock said, Paul, shut up. And Roman said, don't talk to him that way. Why does Roman care? Why does Roman care why Paul gets talked to? And then this whole thing back and forth, and Brock said, Paul, I told you to shut up, Superman punch. Not on Paul, on Brock. So that was enough for me to go, okay, this relationship's not severed. There's something still there, and whether they're still talking or what, but there's enough of, and then the whole relationship with, I'm not going to let you introduce me anymore, I'm going to do my own talking. Then, Paul, why are you even here anymore? Then then I'm just going to walk down and not even be needed anymore? I was needed with Roman. There's a lot of stuff here that they're not saying, but I think they're hoping we catch. And so I'm hoping that plays in the story. My fear, and Jimmy, please tell me I'm wrong. My fear is they're going to be lazy and Bobby's just going to win it. and there's not going to be any deeper storytelling to this. Surely tell me that's not going to happen. So
it can happen, because if they do that, they ruin both Bobby and Brock in the process. So I can't see it happening that way.
I really hope not. Absolutely. All right, let me come over here. We do have a couple of new questions, guys. And Kyle from SmackDraw asked Jimmy, why do you think we didn't get any dueling promos between MVP and Paul Heyman when we had a chance?
I wish I had an answer for you, because there are two guys that, when you talk about talking people into the building, does it get any better than that? MVP and Paul Heyman could have had a heck of a battle on the mic. I think they just wanted to give the spotlight to Brock and Bobby. And if you get that promo the big time promos from MVP and Paul Heyman that might take a little bit of the shine off of the two main events.
That's true. That's true, 100%. Chad, if you have any questions, it's good to see you, Apron Pump, and Get Your Podcast. Man, guys, welcome in. If y'all got any questions for Jimmy Korderas, you don't get many opportunities to ask him. He's right here, so please drop them in the chat, and I'll make sure to ask them for you. Let's get to the next match. I'm not going to lie, this is my match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And therefore, I'm going to start it, and I am blistering white hot for this match. When Roman Reigns won that title at Payback in 2020, my mind began racing and going, okay, I know Paul's involved, so man, Brock would be a great story. And then Bully and Dave and Tommy and Mark started chasing. Oh, it's Tribal Chief, Samoan Dynasty. It's got to be The Rock. That's the apex, story that we got to get to. And I got excited about that too. But deep down, the wrestling I love and the stories I love, my first gut instinct was, I need Roman and I need Seth. And I need this story to happen. I love brotherhood. I love who's the better man. I love where they can literally take the title and put it over to the side and drop it and go, even if this wasn't in the room, we got to settle this. I've always loved those kind of stories. Seth and Roman, founding members of one of the greatest factions of all time. I love that Seth openly has said in interviews, of course I brought Moxley's name up. Without him, none of this happens either. So I love the openness about it. I love that when they talk on the mic, it's real. Everything they're both saying is real. And the storytelling has just been beautiful. My only fear of this match is it's a one-off to get to Roman and Brock. I hope that somehow there's a little bit of seed in here planted that post-Mania, maybe on the build to SummerSlam or maybe Survivor Series or something, we could circle back here because these two need to officially put a stamp on who's the better man, who's the best of the Shield, who's the greatest wrestler in the WWE right now, because it's one of these two. As you can't argue, I think it's one of these two. And so having said that, I'm picking the Usos are barred from ringside. Heyman's not. I firmly believe enough of a distraction is going to happen. I think Roman's going to get the win here. I think he's going to somehow win this match. I don't think it's going to be fully clean. I don't think it's going to be a dastardly way of winning, but I don't think it's going to be fully clean. It's going to be enough of a gripe left in Seth's crawl. But Seth has him 2-0 in title matches. He's about to go 2-1. That's just my opinion. Nikki, hot, cold, or warm?
I am hot for this match. Now, obviously, I'm a fan of the Shield because my dog's name is Dean Ambrose. So, I liked the Wyatt family more, but I love the Shield too. So, this match has been a long time coming, and Seth has won the first 2 times. Obviously, things have changed dramatically since the first 2 times. I keep going back and forth on this. Bama, we've talked about this.
Yep.
You and I talked about this, where at one point I was like, oh my God, Seth is going to beat Roman. Oh my God. He's not going to beat Roman.
No.
Roman will win.
No.
I think it was wishful thinking a little bit.
And it hurts because I love Seth.
It hurts.
I heard it. I love Seth. Yep.
I think it's going to be Roman, and I think it's either going to have to do with Paul Heyman or Kevin Owens.
There it is.
Kevin Owens. And I have a little bit for Kevin Owens later in the night, but Kevin Owens will cost Seth Rollins the belts.
Yep. Wow. Awesome. TC, hot, cold, or warm?
I am hot on this one as well. These are, I think, arguably probably the 2 biggest names in the whole company, at least as far as guys that are there every single show. And that's how it was meant to be 10 years ago. It was supposed to come down to this. So
yes.
Who's going to win? There's no way that Roman is going to end like this right now.
Yep.
Because I don't see Paul Heyman getting involved just because I don't see him involved in both matches.
Right.
Kevin Owens, on the other hand, I can see that. I can see some bit of jealousy because it always remains consistent. You don't trust him to be your friend.
Nope.
You just don't.
Ask Sami Zayn.
You just do not. So
Hey,
why?
they're a match made in heaven, Sammy and Kevin.
They are.
Don't even.
They are.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them.
They are.
They'll always come back around.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
What reason does Kevin Owens have to really be friends with Seth Rollins? He doesn't. There's zero reason. So that's what you're going to get this Saturday. He's not going to win the championship. We're going to build to that. That's going to happen. It might be better than it was 2 years ago. So, yeah, let's check that out. I'm ready.
Jimmy Korderas.
I would love to go off the board here and pick someone different, but I see Roman Reigns coming out of this one with the championship intact. And, you know, it's like you guys are reading my mind here. Kevin Owens is going to, in my opinion, be involved in this in some form or fashion and cost Seth Rollins the match to the point where it leads to further down the same night, as we were talking about, in the Rumble match. They'll be both in that match, and it'll come to a head there. But I can't add any more to what you guys have already said. I see, like you said, I see Roman Reigns coming out of this ahead. I see a great match from these two guys. I'm not worried about whether these guys can perform in the ring. I want the finish to make sense, and then if it doesn't make total sense at the end of this match, by the end of the Rumble match, we connect the dots, so to speak.
I agree. And over here in the chat, Reek, TC's co-part, said this is going to be Roman's best match of his year, calling it right now. I agree. These two they're best friends, they're brothers. They're going to pull, they know exactly what to pull out of each other and how to do it. They're going to tell each other. Here's my only lingering question. Oh yeah, Jimmy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and really quickly, hats off to Seth for mentioning Mox and doing it not in a condescending manner and just being a friend.
Yes. Here's my question. All three of you are free to answer. Is there any way in this match Roman just beats him clean?
No.
I hope not.
Nah. That would do nothing for Seth, really.
No.
Exactly.
It'll hurt him more than anything, especially on the road to WrestleMania. Like you just can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's bigger plans for Seth that we haven't gotten to yet.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring it up later, but I think this is going to a whole other thing that people aren't even thinking about.
I agree. 100%. Chat, once again, if you have any questions for Jimmy Korderas, please drop them in the chat. I will definitely bring them up to him. But now let's move forward to this next match, which is the Women's Royal Rumble match. Here we go. So the homework all these guys had was, first of all, are they hot, cold, or warm for it? Next, they need to talk about the Rumble. Then I asked for their heart pick, which is who they want to win this match. Their sleeper pick, somebody maybe that is not the biggest pick or top of the card, or maybe somebody flying under the radar that could possibly win this match. And then their head pick, their actual prediction, who they think is really going to win this match at the end of the day and why. And Nikki, we've circled all the way back to you. Women's Royal Rumble. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I'm warm for this. Only because I think I know where this is going and I don't like it. Only because I don't like the person. And she could go bugger off somewhere else.
Okay.
So, yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
So let's wait to get to that head pick. So you're just warm for it. Anything else you want to add before I ask for your picks?
Can I just say, I am so excited for Mickie James when she comes out carrying that Impact.
Hardcore country!
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. The rest of the match, I don't even care at this point. I want that moment.
Yes.
That's my moment. My dream is she would win it, and we would have belt versus belt with Charlotte. We're not going to get it.
No.
We ain't going to get it.
No.
That's my dream. It's my dream.
Yeah. It's an olive branch just to let her do this. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Again, that is a dream scenario. In my dream, it'd be a 50-man Royal Rumble with every company out there. But again, yes. So who my heart wants to win? Bayley. A returning Bayley.
That's your heart.
Because, and I'll tell you right now, I've loved Bayley since as a heel. I've loved Bayley because, again, she's not wrong with what she says. Everything she says is right. She's made points. So you can't sit there. And I know Bam and I had this conversation where everybody wants the baby faces. You want to cheer the baby face. But it's hard when the baby face is what Bayley used to be.
Yes.
Where it's, the wacky waving inflatable tube man and
sugary
the
sweet over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
The over the top baby face is not realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, in realistic, you could be a good person and make a mistake.
Yeah.
It happens. So, and since Bayley, I loved her talk show gimmick. I loved her show. I want Bayley. And if not Bayley, Asuka.
So that's your heart pick. Okay. Who's your sleeper?
Yep. My sleeper? Lita.
Yes. I love it.
And she will face Charlotte Flair.
Wow.
And if that were to happen, because I thought this, my head pick could still face Becky Lynch. Because there is one pay-per-view between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And it is a big payday to be had. And I don't watch these shows for a reason.
Right.
But I feel like this person, money talks.
Mm-hmm.
She would go and be in the elimination chamber.
You said one thing too many. Now I know.
You know who it is.
I know who it is. Okay.
Money talks.
Money talks.
The head pick.
Your head pick is
Ronda Rousey. And if not, she will be in the elimination chamber and win the elimination chamber in Saudi Arabia.
Ooh. Wow.
She's either winning the Rumble or the chamber. And you will get Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania, probably main eventing night 2.
Wow. TC, hot, cold, or warm for the Rumble before your picks?
I'm hot. I'm gonna be hot because I love the Rumble. And I have no idea what direction, because there's so many different directions they really could go. So I'm glad we have this hard head dark horse pick. So with my heart pick, who I want to see win it, I want to see a repeat from Bianca Belair, because they're just dangling that with Becky for us for some time down the line. So that's perfect. Who I think? Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then so your heart pick, you want to see Bianca 2-peat.
Yes.
Okay. And your
my head pick.
Go sleeper first.
Sleeper. Okay. My sleeper pick. Ronda. Yeah, I can see them. I can see them booking the women's match exactly how they did 2 years ago in the men's match with Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. Have Charlotte dominate pretty much like a good portion of it. Ronda comes back in the middle of the match, or somebody else. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Not sure.
Right.
But I think the route they could go is just have, because they already started building to Lita and Charlotte, have that happen at the Elimination Chamber, do Ronda and Charlotte at Mania, which is what I think they wanted to do a couple years ago, and then they just had to add Becky to it. So you run that match you wanted to years ago. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they do after that. But
right.
Yeah, dark horse pick, Ronda Rousey.
Your head pick?
Head pick is Bayley.
Really? Okay.
She hasn't. That's the one thing she has not done is won the Rumble. So get her that win.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. No, I'll save it for when I get to my thing. Jimmy, before you give your takes, can I give you a question from the chat real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Cole 2K brought up a question and said, in any of the ladder or TLC matches you refereed, did you ever have to hold a ladder stable for a spot to be done, or did you trust the wrestlers to do it right without you?
I had held ladders for wrestlers. We don't stay in the ring, but hard to explain, but there has been one or two times where we've actually had to hold the ladder just for the safety of the wrestlers, because the spot they're doing is just those ladders can easily slide out from under them.
Just not as blatant about it.
You try, yeah. I wasn't a big fan of having the referee right there in the ring because, but at the same time, I do understand that JR tried to explain it away by the safety of the competitors is paramount, which it is. And he's not lying about that, but it's having the referee in the ring holding a ladder all the time for every spot. I don't know, just took away from it a little bit.
I'm convinced JR makes blankets on the side because he covers a lot when he does commentary now. He really does. All right, Jimmy, women.
Somebody has to, man. Somebody has to.
Yeah, I say Tony tries. Excalibur's just call it play-by-play. He's too busy. So, but anyway, Jimmy.
So the first pick is what?
First of all, are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
Definitely hot for this match. There's so many possibilities here. It's not clear cut where you can say, oh, I could see so and so winning. You could see like 4 or 5 different women winning this match and make a case for all of them.
Right.
Which is what I like about this.
Awesome. Who is your heart pick? Who do you want to see win?
From a personal standpoint, Mickie James, and not only because she is the Impact Women's Champion, but also because of the history we've had together. Don't read that the wrong way. We worked together very well. We were friends,
right?
And
I love Mickie.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. She works really hard. She loves this business, and you talk about forbidden doors and stuff. I just like that the door has been opened.
Yep.
Which could lead to other possibilities.
100%.
Whether it does or not, we shall see.
Yes.
But at least the olive branch, like it has been stated, has been sent out. So that's my heart pick.
Who's your
sleeper?
Who's your sleeper?
Okay, this is going to sound weird as a sleeper pick, but Charlotte is my sleeper pick.
Wow.
Because she is a champion. And if she were to win the Royal Rumble, everybody would assume that she would go to WrestleMania and choose an easy, quote unquote, easy opponent to defend her title against. But what if her whole plan was to unify the championships? And what if your main event for one of the nights at WrestleMania is the women's unification match?
Yep.
I don't know. Again, fantasy booking 101.
Yes.
Okay, that's fantasy. Jimmy, let's go reality. What's your head pick?
Hey, got a lot of steam behind her. Bianca Belair is awesome. And I don't want to say she is definitely the future of the women's division, but potentially has all the tools there to be a long-term staple of that women's division. So I'm looking at Bianca Belair.
All right. I am, of course, hot for this match. I love the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm so thankful we have it. I wish it had come 10 years earlier, but I'm so thankful we have it. It's a great milestone. I actually just went back and watched the first one, the 2018 one, a couple days ago, and I fell in love all over again. I'm like, this is such a great thing for these women to have this platform and be able to do this. I hear everything you guys are saying, and you've struck so many chords with me. It's like y'all been in my brain for the last 2 weeks. I try to play things out so much. I try to live in reality, but I also am like, would they really throw a curveball like that? And so I really just try to think outside the box a little bit. My heart pick is a little bit based in reality, but it's Bianca Belair. I want to see her repeat. I want to see her get retribution on Becky and get her title back that she should not have lost in that way at SummerSlam. Again, I get it. We all know why they felt like they had to do it that way. That way was not needed. If you want to play with an experiment, then you could have had it play out a couple different ways. But to say, I caught you off guard, you weren't ready for me, and I cheap shotted you, and that's how I'm going to get it, just didn't feel right. Even though, it put immediate heat on Becky, it just wasn't needed. I just didn't feel that way. But anyway, I
had to watch a little girl. I don't know how old.
Yeah, you were there, TC. That's right.
I had to watch this girl dressed like Bianca Belair walk up the stairs crying, trying to compose herself. That hurt me. So it was tough.
100%. And Jimmy, I rarely disagree with you, but I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. Bianca's not the future. She's the present. She's now. She's now. She is mind-blowing. The stuff she can do athletically, there's only one other girl I've seen do what she can do athletically, and that's the Queen Charlotte Flair. Bianca is so phenomenal, and that's why I'm picking her with my heart, because I want her to win and not go after Becky. I want her to go after the Queen. I want Charlotte and Bianca to main event night 1 or 2 of WrestleMania, because I think as great as Becky is, something's nagging me that Nikki said, which is if they can't get her quickly for the Rumble, they'll throw Ronda in the chamber. Ronda will work her way through it, and we'll get Becky Ronda one night, and then Charlotte and Bianca can have another spot on another night. And I just feel like either way, 2 of the best women's matches of all time are going to happen in one weekend. So that'll be great to watch. My sleeper pick is Charlotte Flair. I agree. I think my favorite women's match of the last year was Survivor Series Becky versus Charlotte. They tore it up. That was such a great match. And Nikki and I left that match chatting in the chat room, and I said, they're not done. They're not done. Becky held the rope. Charlotte knew she held the rope. They're not done. That's not gonna be the last match they ever have. So if they want to do a unification match where they finally put the nail in the coffin of this story and of this rivalry, who's the better girl, Iron Woman match, or some stipulation where there has to be a definitive winner and the titles are on the line, I would love nothing more than to bring back the WWE Women's Championship. I would love nothing more than to see that happen again. I want one male champion and one women's champion to be the faces of my company. I hate dual champions. And if they want to do that, I'll be happy with that. My head pick, I don't know why, Rhea Ripley.
Oh.
Rhea Ripley. Here's why. She has gotten a little bit of steam lately. I think they cut her from Nikki conveniently right now to let her go loose. She's got a little bit of an axe to grind, and she's got a little bit of her edge, and she's angry. That's a great formula to send somebody into the Rumble with. And I think she could easily up her eliminations again. And I can't help but think, what match was stolen from her 2 years ago where she was supposed to main event at WrestleMania with her NXT Women's Championship and go over, but couldn't because the pandemic stole it from her? Oh yeah, that was against the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Rhea has no business on Raw with anybody. Send her over to SmackDown. Let her get in the Queen's face and say, this time, Queen, not gonna happen. And let's run it back and let her win her SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I think it'd be awesome, and I would love to see it happen. All right, coming over here to the chat, let me see what we got here. Oh, Kyle, shut up. He said, boo that terrible take, Jimmy. Now all my questions will be for TC and Nikki. That's terrible.
I guess he doesn't smell what the ref is cooking.
Oh, yes.
Gimmick infringement.
Love it. TC, what were you?
Can I make a quick note? If
yes,
from the Trivia King here, if Bianca wins, she'll be the first repeat winner of the women, and she'll be the first ever black person, man or woman, to repeat a Royal Rumble.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will. That's huge. Absolutely huge. Apron Bump agrees with both of us and says he thinks it's going to be Bianca as well. He said, you guys watch Eva Marie comes out at 30 and wins. Kyle, don't say that. Don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say that.
I'm all for chaos, and I will mention that. if they will allow me to go first next time, I would like to bring out some chaos.
No, thank you.
I got some chaos for the men, so
yeah. Let's get
there's chaos.
Let's get to it now. The men's 30-man Royal Rumble match. Arguably, I think we can all agree this is probably going to be the main event of the night, and I think it deserves to be. This is going to be a great match. You can see there on the graphic, guys. Everybody that's there. Fun fact, there's 16 Raw superstars listed for the Men's Royal Rumble. There's only 5 SmackDown superstars listed and Johnny Knoxville. So that's all we have right now. So there you got 8 open spots left to be filled for this. So we have some potential comebacks. Referee Jimmy Korderas, we have been so honored and gracious for your time. This is the main event. You're the main event this evening. Let's start with you. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I am hot for this match because, again, there are possibilities. There isn't one clear-cut name where you could say this is definitely the one who's going to happen. But for me, my heart pick, and is that what we're starting with?
Yes,
starting
sir.
with the heart pick. Oh my goodness! Again, I'm going way off the board here with my heart pick, and it's Sami Zayn because I am so entertained by Sami Zayn. I love what he's doing right now.
That would be awesome.
Finally get he would make the build to whoever he faces at WrestleMania so much fun to watch, and and also he's a good Canadian kid. So what can I say?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's head pick,
Sleeper pick.
sleeper pick. My sleeper pick. Here we go. I was thinking outside the box here, and I was going to go with Austin Theory only because of his association with Mr. McMahon right now, but I can't go with that right now. My sleeper pick would be Big E because I don't think he was done right with his title reign.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that ended recently. But if anybody could build back up and get that proper title reign that he earned,
Yes.
not deserves,
Yes.
he earned,
Right.
it's Big E. But my head is telling me that because of the earlier situation in the WWE title match with Brock Lesnar, he enters the Rumble. He just goes absolutely banana, as the late great Pat Patterson would say, and wins the Rumble and goes on, and he ends up facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yep. And what's hilarious, he's going to come out angry and destroy everybody like he did 2 years ago, and we're going to cheer him for it.
Exactly.
I won't.
I know you won't. I know. Yeah,
I won't.
She has a bad history with Brock Lesnar, so 100%.
I'd spit on his shoe.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's better than having a former IC champion pee on your shoe, but I won't get into that right now.
Reek Havoc kind of agrees with you, Jimmy. He says Austin Theory should be a possibility. Cole 2K says, I hope Gunther comes in and chops Knoxville's chest completely off. And then Kyle from SmackDown said, no, Veer will finally show up at the Rumble and he'll eliminate Johnny Knoxville.
One thing I forgot to mention, I'm really interested to see this Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio dynamic in the Rumble. I know a lot of people are saying it would be cool to see them team up at WrestleMania, but wouldn't it be cool to face your son at WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be cool if Dominic just threw his dad into the front row?
Yep.
But here's the thing. What if his dad, because Ray is the veteran, Ray is the teacher here, Ray eliminates Dom, but Dom is responsible for Ray getting eliminated, thus setting up their match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. I like it. I think Ray has gone on record to say he wants his last match to be with Dominic. And I'm not sure how much he has left on his contract, but I think he deserves that.
I think it's coming.
Yeah, I do too. And I've already envisioned it that when the match is over and Ray's finally done, for the first time in his career, he takes his mask off, we see his face, and he puts it on his son. And just just kind of that emotional moment, because that when a luchador does that, that means they're done. So that would be powerful. Awesome. That would be powerful. So I really hope we get to see that. Nikki, I'm going to go to you next. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I am hot for this match if it works out the way I want it to. Because, as Jimmy did, this all harkens back to earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we'll do my heart pick. And everybody's going to hate me for this, but it is Baron freaking Corbin! Woo! Yeah! Or Finn Balor, but Baron Corbin! And you know why? Because he got screwed with that Money in the Bank.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Still holding that grudge, John Cena.
Hold on. Baron Corbin won an Intercontinental title match like 2 or 3 months ago, has not gotten it yet.
That is true.
Where's his match?
That is true.
What is going on? I will not
match?
stand for it until he gets his match.
Yeah. Where's his match?
Good point.
Where is it? I don't see it.
Absolutely.
So, I think it would work too, because we need to end this whole Madcap thing. So have him boot Madcap for a second time from a Battle Royal.
Yes.
And Baron Corbin can face Bobby Lashley, because if you remember,
I do.
Baron took out Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
And never got a match from that.
That's right.
Baron Corbin's my heart pick. because we love Baron Corbin in this house.
As much as Vince loves long-term storytelling, I promise you he doesn't remember that story.
Oh, but I do.
But you do.
I do. I remember it all. Anyway, my sleeper pick is also Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn, or the winner of my head pick, could do this. And it would work in both situations. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn, because he deserves it. He has toiled for a long time.
Yep.
And it's time. We need Sami Zayn. And my head pick, Kevin Owens.
Wow.
Go with me on this one.
I'm going.
Kevin Owens, right? What did Seth say when Seth's out there bragging about his belt and how he's going to beat Roman? And Kevin says, well, if you beat Roman, I get a shot at that belt.
Right.
Well, Seth didn't beat Roman. Right. So Kevin is going to take matters into his own hands with the help, because Seth's going to walk into that match angry, obviously. But guess who helps him eliminate Seth? His soulmate, Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn will help Kevin Owens win. Also, we'll get the cute moment of when Johnny Knoxville's being a prick to Sami. Kevin will eliminate Johnny Knoxville.
Yep.
But also, this also leads to Elimination Chamber. Seth says he got screwed. Seth versus Bobby Lashley at the Elimination Chamber Saudi show. Seth wins. Seth versus Kevin.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
With Sami Zayn.
Wait, so
in the corner.
So KO's going to pick Bobby, but Seth's going to beat Bobby, so therefore Seth picked Kevin. Or Kevin picked Seth.
Yep.
That would be crazy. But I
told you, chaos.
But crazy's
But also I want Baron Corbin to be in the final four.
I was going to say, crazy's in your name, so it works. I love it.
But here's my thing. Baron Corbin gets rubbed that way too, because he could go back to SmackDown and be like, all of you people got eliminated and I was the one carrying the show.
Right.
Because he deserves that, because he's Baron Corbin.
100%. Chad, if you have any last-minute questions, go ahead and type them now, and I'll ask them to Jimmy when we get a chance to here in a second. TC, Men's Royal Rumble. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I'm hot, man. Same reason as last time. This is my favorite match, my favorite show that WWE puts on. I like it more than Mania. I look forward to the Rumble more than Mania, to be honest with you guys. Which one am I giving on first?
Go with your heart pick first.
Heart.
My heart pick, who I want to see win. I want to see Big E do it, man. I think he's not done yet.
Right.
As much as 3-4 weeks ago, people were up in arms about him losing. Like he's not done yet. And I think the Rumble is a great way to kind of reassert him back into the main event. Mm-hmm. You can run Big E versus Bobby Lashley again if you would like. Or there's plenty other directions to go. Sleeper pick. I got a couple sleeper picks actually. AJ Styles is one, and Damian Priest. I think either of those wouldn't be a bad route to go. Mm-hmm. They're clearly building up Damian Priest for something, and AJ Styles is AJ Styles.
Right.
So, head pick. Who I think is going to win, right?
Yes.
Brock Lesnar is going to win the Royal Rumble match. He's going to come in hot and angry, pissed off, cost him the title match earlier in the night. He's going to make quick work out of some guys. He might take Johnny Knoxville's spot, even though I would like to see Johnny Knoxville getting into it with like Omos or somebody.
Yep.
But, I mean, Johnny Knoxville is taking a crazy bump from someone. It might as well be Brock Lesnar. Right. So have Brock take his spot, have him come out, wreck everybody in the Rumble, and leave. Right. That was a pun that was intended. Yeah, man, that's what I'm rolling with. And I'm going to really enjoy my Saturday night just seeing everybody cry over it, because you guys know what's going to happen. So there's enough preparation, enough signs are there right now for you to prepare for it. But Saturday rather, is going to come and you guys are going to be angry and I'm going to be very entertained by the angry wrestling tweets on my timeline, like I was when Brock won the title to begin with.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
that's such a good point. Yeah.
And if you want, you can run that match, Roman and Brock, in Saudi Arabia again, and then go a different route at Mania if you so please.
Yeah, 100%. I'm white hot for this match, and it's one of my favorite matches of the year, one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I love it, and I'm excited about it. Can't add any more to the match. You guys have said so much already. My heart pick, Kevin Owens. I want him to win. KO has. I look like him for one, but for another reason, I just really think that he's been Universal Champion. He's had some amazing matches and amazing moments, but for some reason, he's never quite gotten through this weird imaginary ceiling to being the guy that you can put on the marquee and it just looks right, or you just think when you go, okay, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, even to a degree, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens. It's like for some reason there's a little bitty drop that happens, and I want that to go away. And I think if Kevin Owens wins the Royal Rumble, it goes away. Because then he's in the main event at WrestleMania. No one can ever take that away from him again. And to be flat out honest, and Dave LaGreca will never let any of us forget this, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho should have been the main event at WrestleMania 33. And that was stolen from him. That was absolutely stolen from him. So this is a way to bring redemption back to that. And I firmly believe in contract talks, KO brought that up and said, you want to make this right? Put it on paper. And I really hope they did. And I would love to hope and pray that this happens that way. My sleeper pick is two guys that TC mentioned, Big E or AJ Styles. Either one of them would be no pun intended, phenomenal. AJ is just so much fun, and he's main evented and he's had the title at WrestleMania, yes. But this is the last big thing he can do with his legacy is put a Royal Rumble win under his belt. And we know he only has maybe 2-3 years max left in him before he finally says he's done. So this is a great way to give that to him and let him main event WrestleMania one more time and let him finally eventually go off in the sunset after he's done helping younger guys step up like he did for Grayson Waller and like I know he'll keep doing for the next generation forever. And I hope eventually he becomes a producer and an agent because that mind has got to stay in this business. We need him. He's so valuable. And same thing with Big E. And the reason why I'm not picking Big E confidently is because my head pick is Brock Lesnar. And I think my head pick is going to happen. And therefore, TC, shout out to your boy, but I want Big E to go into that chamber at Saudi and wreck everybody. I want him angry. I want him physical. I want him to bend metal. I want him to break out that plexiglass shield. I want him to come in there like a Hulk unleashed and pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys and say, if I did that inside this chamber, Bobby, wait till I get my hands on you. That's what I want to see. And I really hope and pray that's what happens. I think the writing's on the wall. Brock Lesnar's going to go in there, wreck everybody, throw Omos over the top rope, throw Johnny Knoxville over the top rope, throw all of our favorites over the top rope, and I think it might actually come down to Brock Lesnar and the Usos. And I think he'll throw them both over at the same time, and then we'll punch our ticket, and we'll build towards WrestleMania, and the main event for night 2, the final match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And I just think it's poetic, and it works, and we'll see what Paul's involvement is, and at the end of the night, who he finally is going to leave with or not leave with at all. So that'll be interesting. I'm excited to see it. Let me come over here. Reek says Bama's preaching now. Yeah, I think we all want to see that for Big E, 100%. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that was going to come up with this? But I don't think so. Jimmy, do you have any last-minute words or things we need to be watching for this Saturday that maybe we're not aware of or don't know that you see coming?
Well, obviously there are a few names left in both Rumble matches. I think we're going to see a few more surprises. There's some rumors out there. I'm not spoiler guy, so I'm not going to mention anything here. But people who know, I've already read stuff. Would be very interesting if one of the names that I saw today actually comes to fruition. That would be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm expecting one or two at least more surprises in each each of the matches. We've got the ladies match has quite a few
Yes.
legends in it and a few very much surprises, but I see a few more in the men's match as well.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. My only last minute thing is because all these matches we've talked about, and again, Nikki, TC, if you guys have any lingering questions, please have them ready, and we'll let Jimmy answer them in a second. My last thing, the one match that I have to see to feel content as a wrestling fan before I eventually die someday is crazy, and Nikki's not going to like this, is Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey one-on-one. But I don't want it to be Ronda as the face. So I'm actually hoping these rumors are what they are, and I want Ronda to go away and enjoy her year like Becky did. I want it in Hollywood where Becky can have a year to get this rectified and come back as a babyface and let it happen in Hollywood. But tell it from your professional opinion, is that match with or without a title, is that match money enough to be the first ever one-on-one women's main event of night 2 of WrestleMania? Are those two names the names that need to be in there? Does the title need to be on the line? And will it work if Ronda's a babyface? I don't want to see that, but would it work?
I think it can. Again, it all depends on how the build it takes place and how it is presented to the audience and getting the audience invested and interested in what's going on. But again, if you go back to rumors, and all these supposed what's going to be the supposed main event at WrestleMania in LA next year.
Right.
People are talking about The Rock possibly making an appearance.
Right.
No, there are no stars bigger than The Rock, right?
None.
Yeah.
None.
So if that is the case, I'm sorry, ladies.
Yeah. But all right. So then, what about for this year? Could they actually outdo Brock and Roman?
See, again, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's yes. Ronda Rousey, in a general sense, may be a bigger name than Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the wrestling world, Roman is hitting on all cylinders right now. Roman's on fire. But as far as name recognition, Brock is a big name in the wrestling world. I don't know if I could say they could definitely main event night 1.
Yes.
That would be an awesome main event for night 1, and then you can have Brock and Roman main event night 2.
Absolutely. And then, Jimmy, last thing from me. Do you agree with the logic that if you win the Rumble, you get the last match or you get a main event match? What do you feel? Do you feel like they're going towards Women's Rumble winner gets night 1 or 2, Men's Rumble gets that? Because remember a couple of years ago, Seth won the Rumble, but he got the opening match, and Becky got the main event. So
right.
Do you feel that that's the direction they're going, that part of night 1 and night 2, the Rumble winners are going to get that last match on those nights?
I'm not exactly married to that decision. The Rumble winner should get the title match at WrestleMania. The main event, again, is the match that has the most buzz around it, that has the biggest names, so to speak. Yes, you want to start off the night. People talk about the opening match has to be a one that, is a, sorry, JR, slobber knocker that people are going to buy into.
Yep.
But at the same time, your main event has to be the most anticipated match as well. And sometimes it is a title match, and sometimes the names are just so big that it's bigger than the title. And that's one of the things, if Rock appears next year, there's a name that's bigger than any championship.
I say, looking over here in the chat real quick, Kyle said, I just watched Mickie James cut a promo about entering the Rumble, and man, now I want her to win it. Yeah, wow.
There you go.
And Kyle from April Bump said, yeah, I think it should be, in his opinion. And Too Sweet Pod says, seems to be women get night 1 and Roman should get night 2. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. That's what happened last year. But, I'm waiting for the day when they go, it's undeniable. The women need night 2. They've earned it. I'm just waiting for that day. I just don't know who it's. And that's why I asked you that question, because I just have that feeling if any two are going to be big enough to do it, it's Becky and Ronda. I don't think there's any two bigger names in wrestling that could be. I don't. As much as I love the Queen, I don't even think Charlotte and Becky by themselves could do it. I think it has to be Becky and Ronda. So
one way you can have Charlotte in that picture is if she is going for the record to surpass her father and become a 17-time champion.
There you go. There you go.
That's a story you can tell.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Nikki, TC, do you guys have any last questions for Referee Jimmy Korderas?
I don't.
No, I don't. Not right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Jimmy, Nikki, TC, thank you guys so much for joining me on this awesome preview. And thank all of you who are watching live in the chat and watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us so much. This has been the Royal Rumble preview here on the Bama Slammer. Once again, if you're watching us right now, subscribe, like, comment, click the bell so every time we post a video, you'll get notified immediately. Or every time we go live, you'll get a notification that we're live. If you're listening to us on a podcast, I hope you've enjoyed this time and I hope you've reached your destination safely or you didn't hurt yourself during your workout. But no matter what you were doing, I hope you enjoyed this experience, and I thank you so much for listening. Give us a 5-star rating and leave us a comment. We enjoy listening to your feedback. Nikki, please put yourself over. What do the Queens of the Ring have coming up, and what are your immediate plans in the near future?
So our Royal Rumble match podcast is tomorrow. So tomorrow morning you can hear our takes, which there's some extra stuff we talk about with that forbidden door that we didn't talk about here. So we go a little more into that forbidden door rumor. Also, we do cover GCW The World on our show tomorrow. Also, I'm going to WrestleMania, so.
Woohoo!
And I'm
Enjoy.
going to see Bray. And I'm going to see
Awesome.
Bray.
Awesome. I'm so excited for you. I really am. And I let her know that it was just announced like 2 days ago, Stand and Deliver is going to be happening in Dallas at WrestleMania. So hopefully they do it right and they give those NXT people some good platform and some good time, and hopefully they sell out at a great crowd. So
I might be at Effie's Big Gay Brunch at the same time. So we'll see. We'll see.
TC, please put yourself over. What do the Young Kings Wrestling guys have coming up, and where can we find you, and what all y'all working on?
Young Kings Wrestling. We just dropped our Rumble prediction show this past Monday. New episodes every Monday. Check those out at ykwrestling.com. You can follow us on social media at YK Wrestling. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you got to put an underscore because they suspended our page about 11 months ago. Yeah, unfortunately. But if you guys aren't aware, we do work with the local promotion here in Las Vegas, Versus Pro Studios. Big weekend for Versus coming up this weekend as well. So anybody in Vegas, or if you're just watching from home, you can watch on Twitch. Pride Style Pro Wrestling puts on their second show on Saturday night. I want to say 8 p.m. Eastern. Check that out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pride Style Pro. And Versus Pro Studios puts on Next Level the very next afternoon, about 4 p.m. Eastern, at twitch.tv/Versus Pro Studio, no S. Check them out. Great wrestling here in Vegas, if you guys did not know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, folks you see on the daily basis on television kind of got their start or were wrestling recently, like Karrion Kross, LA Knight,
Bay.
Yep.
Chris Bay. Shout out to Chris Bay. Who else am I? Matt Riddle,
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Moxley,
Yeah.
Matt Cardona. It's a good time. It's a great time.
Awesome. Awesome. Referee Jimmy Korderas, again, huge thank you for giving us your time this evening to preview the Rumble with us. Please put yourself over, sir. Where all can we find you on social media? Tell us about the Ref and Rants and anything else you have coming up in the future, sir.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed it. It was a blast. And of course, you can catch me on all my social media accounts doing my daily Ref and Rants. I don't do it on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. I take a little break. I watch wrestling, but I don't talk about it. But you can catch my Ref and Rants on my Twitter at Jimmy Korderas, or on my Instagram at Real Jimmy Korderas, or my Facebook page as well. You can find me out there as well. And if you want, you can get your Ref and Rant t-shirts now at prowrestlingtees.com, where I have 3 different styles out there, and you can choose from that. But also, if you want your own private video version of a wrestling rant, you can go to my Cameo and request them there, and I can give you a Ref and Rant on any subject you choose.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Again, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, TC. Thank you, Jimmy, for joining me tonight. Guys, if you want to know more about the Bama Slammer Wrestling Podcast, the ticker's been going across. You can just back up and watch that, or check the details or check the stuff in the details down below the video. But again, until the next time we drop the hammer, this has been the Royal Rumble. Enjoy the pay-per-view, and let's have a great time next week here on the Bama Slammer. Have a good night, everybody.